We begin with breaking news out of South Africa and the death of anti-apartheid icon Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, the wife of the country's first black president, but whose reputation became tainted legally and politically later in life. Mandela died in hospital today at the age of 81 after a long illness. She was surrounded by her family. She was married to Nelson Mandela for almost 40 years, including the 27 years he spent in prison on Robben Island. Mandela's family confirmed her death in a statement. Part of it reads, "Winnie Mandela was one of the greatest icons of the struggle against apartheid. She sacrificed her life for the freedom of the country." The statement adds she dedicated most of her adult life to the cause of the people, and for this, she was known far and wide as the mother of the nation. Freelance journalist Jane Flanagan has more from Cape Town on Mandela's checkered life and what we know of her death.
Well, we've been given very little information by the family, just told that she died after a long illness. She has been in hospital, in and out of hospital this year. We were told she had a knee operation. We also were told that she was suffering with some sort of problem with her kidneys. But I saw a press release her office sent out last week with an apparently a fresh picture of Winnie Mandela, and I remarked to myself how well she looks. So this has taken everyone rather by surprise today.
And certainly we heard a statement from the family, but I'd like to quickly also play a clip from a family spokesperson speaking a little earlier today. Let's quickly take a listen.
Mama Winnie Mandela was identified by the masses of our people as the mother of the nation. This was in recognition of a fearless and uncompromising stand that she took against the might of the apartheid regime. She was really a colossus who strode the Southern African political landscape.
So as you heard, we often hear her referred to as Mother of the Nation. Where does Winnie Mandela stand in South Africa's history?
Well, she's a hugely divisive figure, and it's very difficult to put her in a clear category because of the very checkered life that she led, so full of drama. She was undoubtedly a very brave woman who was left to fight at the coalface while her husband Nelson Mandela was behind bars for all those years. She was a single mother bringing up her children. She really bore the brunt of the apartheid regime who scrutinized her, who arrested her, who came down very hard on her. She really represented the hopes and fears of so many black South Africans. So she really was at the cutting edge during those very long years. But I think when Nelson Mandela was freed and they announced their separation, I think a lot of the South Africans sided with Nelson Mandela. He was clearly hurt and heartbroken by her rejection of him. And I think for that alone, many South Africans couldn't forgive her. She, despite their separation, she joined his cabinet, but he was forced to sack when she was linked to corruption. She certainly has been linked to dark acts of violence and corruption during her long political associations. However, undoubtedly, she was a brave woman. She sacrificed so much for the liberation struggle personally and her family life. And she's never really been allowed to forgive the misdemeanors, and they have stalked her into old age, really. We've lost a huge political and national figure today. Whether you thought she was a saint or a sinner, whether you thought she was Lady Macbeth or the mother of the nation, definitely Winnie Mandela will be a huge loss to the country. And I think that the outpouring of grief, because the loss was so sudden, will be hugely and widely felt.